If you've ever wondered what are the secrets of someone who has not only dominated her local real estate market, but has now built additional revenue streams and served the lives of both clients as well as agents, as well as the overall industry. If you ever wanted to peek into and look under the hood and see really the secrets of what a big thinking professional in the real estate industry does, then today is your day. Today, we're going to interview Amy Stockberger of South Dakota, the #1 agent in all of South Dakota, a top 50 US agent nationwide. And we're going to hear the secrets behind her success. Joy, this is going to be a great episode. So the big question is this: how do those of us in the real estate industry who have crazy amounts of ambition, how do we think bigger than the building of our own empires? How do we create success and significance, income and impact? My name is Justin Stoddard. This is my co-host Stephanie Peck. And together we bring you the Think Bigger Real Estate Podcast. All right, welcome back, everybody. Excited to be here with my friendly co-host, lovely co-host, Stephanie Peck. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello.
And we have a treat today for our audience, Amy Stockberger, again, out of South Dakota, who has made waves throughout the industry that extend far beyond that lovely state. So Amy, so happy to have you here on the program today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm honored to be here. And thanks what you guys are doing for the community. I love our beautiful industry. So good job in continuing to help it out.
You know, Amy, you've been featured on some of the biggest podcasts in the industry, and there's quite a buzz that trails after you're on the podcast. And I know that there's a list of about 10 topics that we could discuss that probably would benefit everybody that's listening. But I'm gonna turn it to Stephanie, because I know that there's some real curiosity about a number of things. So Stephanie, please, why don't you kind of kick us off with your first question?
Yeah, well, I will say, and if you've listened to this podcast and you know anything about my business, I look at Amy like you are a magnified version of how I'm running my business. And what I love, what I heard from you is the people that we speak to, we all want to still be working by referral, relationship, and reputation. And we want to have a big business. So how do we do that without exhausting our personal relationships and with adding value and not going to those cold leads or the website leads that people don't really enjoy? What you're doing is a big business in a really enjoyable way. So that's why I'm so excited to dive deeper with you. So Amy, get us started with your journey and what led you to this point of noticing that you needed to be and do something different than every other real estate agent was doing to set yourself apart in your community.
Oh, great question. So just a little bit of background on me. I've been in the industry for 24 years, selling for 22. We have been, since I really found a big hole in our business actually back in 2014, which led me to create our lifetime home support model. Since doing that, we've been the highest producing team in our market in South Dakota, actually, since 2017. And we dominate about 10% of our local market share with only about 20 agents. And what happened is one of my superpowers is systems. So back in the day when I say I have a PhD in failing forward, I learned it from the University of Entrepreneurship, that I was doing everything wrong because there's so many shiny objects in our industry. Is there not? Do we have like the most shiny objects in any industry? I feel we do. And I was trying to do all of them, which meant I wasn't doing one of them right? But I knew that because I was so systemized with my little team we were building, that we had the before and during part of the transaction locked down, and our clients were happy. They were telling us how happy they were. But then we would find that we were not getting that repeat and referral business that we should have been getting. And it was just blowing my mind. If they were so happy between the before and during, why wasn't I not getting them for why wasn't everybody who they knew had a life change coming back to my team? And so you do what you do when you're an entrepreneur. I started researching it. I wanted a blueprint. I wanted an exact blueprint for somebody to give me on how to build a book of business where I was authentically serving my clients so well that the law of reciprocity was jumping in and they were giving back to me in the form of repeat and referral business without even thinking of it. And I couldn't find anything that really aligned with what I wanted to do. I wanted to solve the problem. I wanted to solve the problem of taking care of our clients for life. I didn't want to have a past client. And we actually haven't had a past client since 2014 when I created this. We only have clients for life. But I wanted to take care of them, not only during the transaction at a really high level, but after the transaction, not only with their whole home ownership journey, but also with their human experience journey, because that's what this is about. And we know, we're told every single year that our biggest lead source is always going to be our sphere. So I thought, why wouldn't I double, triple, 10x down on giving back and growing my sphere in a way that was authentically serving their wants, needs, and desires? And that's what I decided to do. I'm like, I'm going to go all in on this and make sure that I'm not only doing it just a little bit, because I don't do things just a little bit. I'm going all in on it. And so that's when we created the very first thing in 14 was our VIP club, the first part of our lifetime home support model, which was nothing revolutionary. I bought a truck. I sold ad space to my vendors. Like I call it stealing from Amazon, turning a cost center into a profit center, turning an expense into profit, cash flowed on my trucks. They served me in 4 ways. Clients could use them for life. I was making money on them. We have multiple trucks now paid for by other people. And it was also a billboard on wheels, which was beautiful. And it's an awesome community give back that we could help out the rest of our community, our nonprofits. That was a brand piece. And then we added in at the same time a party shed and a tool shed and an online discount center. And think of like that are these humans that we're taking care of. They have all these things going on in their human existence. So they have to take care of a house. So I put every piece of equipment you could think of to take care of a house, specialty tools, commercial grade carpet cleaners, ladders, things like that, into a little 10 by 10 shed is when I started this. 10 by 10 shed, put this in there. But then I branded all of it. So my name is everywhere on it. And then the same thing with my party shed. So think of party tables and chairs, cotton candy, snow cone, popcorn machines, margarita machines. Just added a new karaoke machine. But again, we brand bouncy houses. We branded everything because they don't have these parties by themselves, right? They have them with all their friends and family when they're celebrating something. And so it was our way of making sure that our name was coming out of their mouth in a way of positivity and us serving them, not selling to them. We call it our serve, 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 sell approach, where it was just an obvious way for them to continually give it back to us in the form of repeat and referral business. And it worked. We turned 1 to 5. We had a way to stay in front of them without commission breath. It gave my agents a way to constantly be of value so that they were giving back, and the law of reciprocity just kicked in.
Fabulous. I've heard of, obviously, great agents everywhere will do, events for the community, Stephanie included, right? But it's really interesting for you to go to another level to say, we're going to equip your events, right? Whether we're a part of it or not, we're going to equip them. And it's people can, if I understand correctly, community members can just kind of schedule to come use your equipment. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yep. When they buy or sell with us one time, they can come back and use the equipment for life for free. And it's not just for first-time home buyers. My luxury clients come back and use this equipment as well. And it's just, again, another point of service with my brand all over it that's helping them in their human journey, which, again, just keeps us top of mind. It is, and my vision for our industry, because we're in the situation our industry's in because of the perceived lack of value, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I really, back in 2014, when I had to get really serious with some major extreme ownership on my part, that was like, okay, I'm not getting that repeat and referral business. What am I doing? Well, my unique value proposition back then was I was the local best at connecting buyers and sellers. You guys, that is my actual job description. That is every real estate agent's job description. That is not a unique value proposition. That is just doing what you're supposed to do anyway. And then I was like, well, I can get top dollar, shortest amount of time, least amount of hassle. No kidding. That's what I'm supposed to do too. Oh, I can find you the house that matches your parameters and your budget. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. That's part of your job. And so I was like, that is not different. I am every agent USA. I'm nothing different. I needed to have something that where my value story was so unique that there wouldn't be any way they wouldn't want to come use our services again.
Stephanie, I know your mind's racing right now. What follow-up questions do you have?
Well, my mind first goes to, this sounds like a logistical nightmare, but I know you have a solution for that. So we will get back to that. But what I love about it is, for somebody that like me, I do a lot of community events. I do client events, but the difference is I'm asking them to come to me, right? I'm doing this, you come to me, you can be a part of our event. What you're doing is you're you're going to them and you're not personally at the party, but you are making yourself known at the party to where, I mean, if I'm at a kid's birthday party, like, wow, you've got a bounce house. This is amazing. And I know exactly where you got that bounce house. And
Right.
now I'm like, well, how do I get to be a part of that too? So you're inserting yourself into their life, and you're also opening up so much opportunity for you to be a part of those life events where, you know, if you're supplying something for their graduation party, now we're thinking, okay, they may be empty nesters soon. They may need me in real estate on top of what I just helped them do. They need gardening tools. Oh, are you sprucing up your curb appeal for a reason?
Right.
Now I have a real estate reason to have another conversation with you. So I'm loving it. So yeah, the logistical nightmare gives me and probably most agents anxiety. So how do we solve that?
Well, it's not. And you know, the one thing people always ask me is like, "Gosh, you must have a warehouse." And we do have in-house climate controlled storage units in my building now. But when I started this, I started it, like I said, in like really an 8x10 shed. And now all of my stuff, and I've been running my program since 2014. All of my stuff is in basically like a 20x16. It's nothing that's huge. But what I did is, because again, I wanted my agents, like when I got into the business, I was hustle, grind, hustle, grind, hustle, grind. That's all I was doing. I was as many open houses as I could do. My sister and I, she was my first team member. We were running 15 plus open houses a weekend. This is back when Google wasn't Google. My biggest ad spend was print, in those days. But I was just working 15 hours, and I was just killing myself doing that. And I didn't want that for my agents. I wanted to show my agents, I wanted to grow a team where they could have time and financial freedom, and also set them up for such success to sell their business one day. Because a repeat and referral business that's systemized sells for 50 to 100% more. And that's one thing in our industry we're really not taught. Like, okay, you serve these people. What does that mean for you down the road? As a financial advisor, wealth advisor, you're told that right away. This is how you sell your book of business. But that's not, that's what we're not really educated on that. So I wanted to do that for them. And I thought, okay, I know agents don't mean to lose connection with their agent or their clients, but they just do, because every portal lead out there is another agent's past client, right? That's a portal. Why the portals are there, is that clients were not taken care of. And so I'm like, okay, if I set this whole program up where I can build their business on repeat and referrals, and then I failed forward over and over again on how to do it, right? That's why I just kept doing it until I found the right way to do it. I built software for it so that it's an easy, my front desk is just streamlines it. We know what's coming in. We know what's going out every day. But the big key on it as well is that when a client checks out a piece of equipment, they make a reservation, their agent gets a notification. Hey, you just rented out the margarita machine. They can make that authentic connection point. Like, hey, what's going on? How can I help you? Who do you know that has a life change coming up, in an authentic way? So they have all these different ways of staying connected and being part of their life experience, their human experience, as well as their human journey. And so we took care of the logistics that way, because we found the ways not to do it and just created software to make it easy. And then we have checklists and process SOPs for everything around it that we also have, that we help agents do too. So we've streamlined the entire process.
I need to just make a comment about one thing that you said that resonates with me. For those that have read my book, The Upstream Model, you'll recognize some common language that was just shared by Amy, which is when you talk about financial advisors, they don't have past clients. They just have clients. And one of the big reasons why those two industries, real estate, financial advisors, oftentimes don't refer each other well is because real estate agents have past clients. In other words, they serve them for 3 to 4 months, and they put them on a drip campaign and hope that they use them again in 10 years. Whereas a financial advisor maintains an ongoing relationship with them. And so these creative ways that you've designed to ensure that it is an ongoing client relationship beyond the transaction, it's really a beautiful way to do that. So anyway, thank you for sharing that. We're very much aligned in kind of how you see our industry, and really levels us up to be aligned with these other more professional service industries.
I truly feel, Justin, that I agree with that wholeheartedly. That's, my vision is to create an industry of servepreneurs, not entrepreneurs, to elevate that client experience before, during, and forever. And if they do that, they can build legacy businesses they love. Because cold leads can kill you. Working with cold leads all the time and not having that, I mean, that's a tough job. But working with leads that are coming in, know, liking, and trusting you, those are fun transactions. And we have really hard jobs. We're working with people who are really, really happy sometimes, and sometimes really, really sad. And we are big parts of their lives and building their wealth and helping them achieve their goals they need. And the majority of Americans, the biggest net worth is their homes, right? So we have a big, big responsibility. And that I think that if our industry doesn't move towards that, and because the consumers, I mean, look what happened with the settlement. Yeah. Consumers have said they don't think that we have value. What if we bring in value for life? There is major, major value there.
Yeah, I completely agree that is the future of the well-paid professionals. There will be a group that gets commoditized and will be squeezed because they refuse to take these steps, and they'll probably work for a portal, right? Whereas those well-paid professionals moving forward will do similar to what you're doing, which is you create an experience that extends far beyond the transaction.
Right. In May, you said graduations. In May, this May, we had our record 800 pieces checked out. Same month, we had 50 some referrals come in from Sphere. And that's, and think of where my logo was at, my brand awareness. I can't get that kind of exposure on a Google pay-per-click. I can't get that on a Facebook ad. I can't get that on anything else. That's people having life experiences with my brand all over, saying, I got this from Amy Stockberger Real Estate from my agent.
I'm actually reading the book right now, Day Trading Attention by Gary Vaynerchuk. And he talks about how there are certain places where eyeballs are at that are undervalued right now. And it's a matter of putting your message in those areas before, the big advertisers, the big companies come in and do that. And that's exactly what you've done, is you found out where eyeballs going to be at, or create a space for them to be, and then put your brand there, right. In a very service-oriented way. So I love that. Gary would be very proud of you. I'm convinced.
Well, he's on my bucket list to someday sit down and just really, really sit down and figure out some stuff out. I have a lot of questions for him. Well, just to kind of go off of that. So we're super connectors, right? That's who we are as real estate agents. And so speaking of eyeballs, so as I grew up my VIP club, I started noticing, and it was in my heart, and God had it in there for a long time before I really figured out how to do it well, is to use that super connectors in a way that not only served my clients on a high level for life, because we connect buyers and sellers, right? But then our clients come back to us for life. They want to be connected with who they should use for lawn care, who they should use for a dentist, who they should use for HVAC. They come to us for those trusted resources. And so I thought there had to be a way for me to solve the problem of first, making sure my clients were taken care of in a systemized approach, that they knew I was their support system for everything they needed, that I would have all those resources. And then I also wanted to say, okay, because we know that businesses with more than one revenue stream are going to sell for more too, because keep in mind, commission revenue, you need more than commission revenue to really scale in our industry. You do. I mean, if you have a really great downline, fabulous, that's great, but you need more than one, one revenue to build a big juicy legacy. I feel very passionate about that. But then I also, because we're very relationship based, and like one of my SOPs is my agents have to be in a leads group that meets on a weekly basis. Like I know those things. So those things that you have to do. That I wanted to lead gen it too, in a way that nobody had really done anywhere that I could find in our market. And so I created my vendor program, and to serve my clients first, to add in money. They pay us $3,500 a year to be a part of the program. I have over 100 vendors in my program. And one big part of it, though, is that for them to be in it, that they have to give us access to their employees. So we get to go in and meet with their employees a minimum of 3 times a year, providing a solution to their employees and to them, part of this whole program, because I systemized and built it out, that we know that being a business owner, attracting and retaining good talent is hard. It just is. That's like the biggest thing of being an entrepreneur or a business owner. And so part of my solution for my vendors that we're offering them for them to be in my program is that we have an employee benefit package with everything I built that we give their employees as a perk for working for them. We get to come in and talk to them about how not only are we the best at connecting buyers and sellers, but how we do it very differently with our lifetime home support model. Our clients can save up to $20,000 in the first year, and the support and savings continue for life. And then we walk through all the other stuff that they get. They go into our nurture sequence. I'm growing my sphere, which is my biggest lead source. I'm helping those business owners keep good and attract good talents. I'm helping the employee giving them more value to their life and things that they want to have. So it's an all around authentic serve for everybody that's growing, really everybody.
I love it. We'd love to learn more about that. I think we think very similarly, and it'd be fun to kind of share notes on that. Stephanie, you have some thoughts about expanding a team that I know you wanted to get to on today's episode. Why don't you go ahead and kind of lead out on those questions?
On expanding the production team?
Yeah, or you had a curiosity at the beginning of the broadcast. So yes.
It was that vendor support program. But since we did bring up the topic of the production team, one thing that really stood out to me about your team, Amy, is that your agents are averaging 20 to 30 transactions per agent, right? Mm-hmm. Which we hear a lot of big teams. And then when we break down the numbers, we find out that most of those agents are maybe doing 2 to 5 transactions a year. Mm-hmm. So what are the systems and accountability checks that you have your team members doing? You mentioned being part of a referral-based group that meets once a week. What are some other things that your team members are held accountable to do to ensure that they individually have their own success within the team?
Well, our lifetime home support model is omnipresent in every part of our business. So we've created and systemized it out. So they're trained on it as the hook on a first relationship, whether it's a referral in from somebody or it is somebody cold that they're meeting, telling them about how we do things very, very differently. So that's one of the first things that they're trained to communicate that effectively. I call it my 30-second value story. It's not a pitch. It's your value story and how you help your specific audience solve their problem using our unique solution and sharing it in a way that is authentic to them. Because when you do, it's The Go-Giver was one of the books that really changed my mindset when I was creating this, that when you do authentically care about other people's wants, needs, and desires, the sales naturally follow. And that's my goal with my agents, is that I set them up, if I have a new agent who comes in brand new, hasn't sold, I know that the beginning of their career, their first probably 1 year to 18 months is going to be probably likely about 65 to 75% company generated income that comes from them. But I know my program turns 1 to 5. So I help them build that repeat and referral business where they're getting those additional referrals. And so that's a big part of it. But then, and we have an average agent tenure of 7 years, within our industry. And so we have a higher agent tenure because of that, because we're sticky to our clients and sticky to the good agents. And that's one thing, we're really big on, is having agents who align with our culture, who align with our core and vision, which is to build big, juicy legacies for everybody in our ecosystem using lifetime home support. So if we don't align with those, agents who don't have that in their wheelhouse, they're not going to be a fit for us, and we don't even bring them in. Mm-hmm. Because attrition, oh my gosh, what is the attrition on a turnover of an agent? We have an 87% failure rate. The attrition cost, I talked to Cristiano's at Humanize, and he was thinking 30,000, maybe minimum, for attrition costs of turnover an agent. That's ridiculous. That's the same as an employee. So what are you doing then? So if you're attracting and you're aligning your business model to serve clients for life, help them build their business where that you can help them keep those clients in a way that we're doing the majority of the heavy work. We're putting in we're adding in the things, the VIP club, we're bringing in the lender or the vendor partners. We're bringing those in to help them with their tool belt. It's huge. And then another thing we do with, I could talk about this forever. So sorry, shut me up if you need to shut me up.
Keep going, girl. We're loving it.
Okay. I can push some energy too. So calm me down if you need me to calm me down. So, but the vendor program for us turned into so many other beautiful things. I knew God wanted me to create that anyway, because it makes sense to take care of our clients, help our local companies build their businesses, because we are marketers. We as real estate agents are marketers. A lot of companies aren't. These small to medium companies aren't marketers. I have the tools to help them build their business. We had one vendor, our client event a couple months ago, 2 of my vendors who are paying for my events, because we don't pay for our events. We sell out the ad space too. I'm very big on turning cost centers into profit centers. And they came up to me and said, this program has 100% changed our lives. Has changed my business, changed our lives. That means it's changed their families' lives. So wouldn't it stand to reason that anytime their family is out in the public and they hear of somebody who has a life change that's coming up, my brokerage's name isn't the first thing that comes out of their mouth? And you cannot pay for advertisement like that. You can't do there's no PPC, pay per click that you can put money on. No amount of Zillow leads that is going to get you that kind of referral. It's turned out that way, but also we use our vendor program to sharpen my agents' tools. So my vendors are coming in my new agent boot camps, and they're going over with my agents, like, hey, this is how you tell the difference in wood species and cabinets, in flooring. This is the difference of heating systems. This is the difference in electrical things, like in the classroom, stuff that you typically don't learn until you're in the field. But the things that are sharpening their tools that give them the confidence to make them, confidence has no competition. I have a big thing on my wall in part of my office that says that the more I can build their confidence, the better they're set to serve and the better they have to scale their business. And so we do it that way. And then we also do field trips where we go out to their house, their place of business, and we invite our vendor our partners and our agents. Because again, I want my agents to know as much as they possibly can about every part of our community, because that's the community they sell in. And again, it's just sharpening their tools to the nth level.
I'm curious about this. When you have a client event, you have your vendors sponsor that, and they say that's changed their lives because now they're getting all the publicity that used to be just yours. Is that what I'm understanding? Is that how that's impacted their life so greatly?
Yep. So we have really 5 pillars that we've created in our system for our vendors. And one of them is to scale their sales, build their brand, make their brand omnipresent, to really, leverage their B2B opportunities, to increase their attraction and retention of employees. And then also to help them in their self-improvement, whether it's personal or professional. And all of those, like 5 different pillars we have for one payment that they make per month. There's no other marketing agency out there that I know that I've paid into, because I've been in this forever and I've bought all the things. I was, a master of none, had all the stuff I had, that you're doing that I just wasn't doubling down on, that I'm like, here, we're here, we're giving this to you. We're helping you do all these things, which will enhance your life. It just will. And we're coming from it from a place of wanting to serve them.
So it's more than just sponsoring an event. You've really taken them under your wing, so to speak, for a year. I think you said $3,500 for the year. And these vendors get essentially mentored by you in everything from mindset to marketing to all the things that they need to really scale their business. That's the part that's really changed their life. Is that?
Yeah, those 2 that they were talking about, those examples, we just scaled their sales, on that one. And they got to learn a lot of, different things, because we do monthly masterminds with them. But the masterminds aren't hard. And all you agents listening, you have vendor partners. You have vendor partners that are helping keep your deals together. You have vendor partners you are feeding a lot of business to. You have a lot of things, but if you come into a part of like, how can I help you succeed so we can succeed together? Like the masterminds we're doing are what I'm teaching my agents on how to build their businesses. The same thing. So, and again, it works in a way where it's I totally believe in the chamber. I know I've listened to your stuff, Justin. I know you understand this part a lot, that, I'm on the board of directors here, but it's like a mini chamber I've created with the exclusivity of a networking group. I'll have 3 HVAC. I'm the only brokerage. I'll have 3 lenders. I'm the only brokerage. So again, and every agent, it's a Gary Keller thing. Your job is to take, because every human brain, he says, has 2 spaces for an agent's name. Your job at every corner is to try to take that other agent's name out of their brain, so it's their name they're saying, your name they're saying. And so what better way to do it than to do it through a service first approach? And when was the last time you guys served somebody or took care of somebody and you felt terrible?
Doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, doesn't happen. That's not the way we're made.
Yeah, the master himself taught, right, that we find our lives by losing it.
Right.
Tell us quickly. I know I think everyone's okay on time. I was just looking at the time.
Yeah.
This has been so great. So that format in which you deliver that education, you do monthly masterminds, and then the field trips in which you go to their businesses, it sounds like, and learn about their business. Are there other formats that you utilize to educate and help scale the sales of your vendors?
Yeah. So we have a whole program I put together, systemized a whole program that they live in all these different pieces of marketing. They live in all these different digital marketing pieces. We basically made ourselves into a media company. You coach from Dan Martell too, so you understand the success leaves clues, right?
Yeah.
Dan Martell's coaching company or media company, his goal is to be the smallest square foot per revenue. He has the business he's built with Martell companies. I think, is it like maybe 12 million in like 18 months with 6 people? But what he's doing is you're just doubling down on the media of what we're offering them to get more eyeballs on their brand, to make them omnipresent. And then all the other things that we've added into it that really are added perks to help them grow their business. And again, we just systemize the whole thing. And I think there's a lot of different programs out there, right? There's a ton of programs that, again, we're the biggest, I think, shiny object. We have different businesses in different industries, and there's not nearly as many lead pillars as in any other industries that we own businesses in as this. In not lead pillars, but just like different ways, I should say. And there's always different ways to scale. But I feel like the one thing that we do for them at a high level, because we figured it out, is that it's not just software. It's not just a mastermind. It's not just an action plan. It's not just this. It's the combination of these things that we put together that make it for a buy-in, not only for the vendor, but for our agents and for our clients first, right? And if your clients aren't bought into it and don't understand how this can help them, and then your agents don't buy into it and how it can help them, it's not going to help your vendors. And so not just one of those things work. It's the combination of all of them together is what's allowed us to grow this at such a high level.
Super exciting. Yeah, we share a brain on that topic. So I'm excited to continue that conversation. Stephanie, any final questions as we wrap up that you're curious to know from this incredible guest, Miss Amy Stockberger?
The only thing that comes to mind for me right now, because I'm making this a mantra in my business for this coming year, especially, is the more people that you help get what they want, the more you'll get what you want. And you've really built your business and all your systems around that. Is who can I help? Who can I serve? Whether it's you want a tool out of my tool shed, or you want to scale a business and bring more value to your employees, you've met everyone where they're at and helped them get what they want. I just love it. I'm so excited to learn more about your systems over time.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And if you're actually, to speak to that, if your community wants to get to the actual framework we use when we sit down in those vendor appointments, when we're talking to them to get them onboarded into our program, if they go out and follow me at Amy Stockberger on Instagram, and then just DM me Think Bigger, and I'll send them out the exact vendor framework that we use to walk the vendor through why we're the best choice for their solution for the problem, or the solution for their problem that they're currently having.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait to see that, and also to circle back. We've got lots to talk about, Amy, that I didn't even know about prior to this call. So anyway, yeah, for those that are curious about the conversation Amy and I are going to have, we're building a platform called Pro Insight that is very synonymous with what Amy's doing. And I think there's some incredible collaboration that we can create over time here, especially with both of us being coached by the same incredible person, Dan Martell. So
yeah, that's awesome. I love that, Justin.
Very cool. Well, it's been so fun to spend almost over 30 minutes now with two incredibly successful, powerful, God-centered women who tend to be my favorite people to hang out with, people who are big thinkers, not just in things business, but in things spiritual, the things that matter even more. So I'm grateful for both of you for the opportunity to spend some time with you today, and for pouring into this audience, the Think Bigger real estate audience. And my final request of everybody listening here today are these three simple words, and they are go, think bigger. And I appreciate it so very much. And actually, before we go, I digress. Amy, I think you told them to follow you on Instagram. Is there anywhere else they should go in order to capture all the value that we couldn't get to today?
You can then jump out. Thank you, Justin. You can jump out to lifetimehomesupport.com. That's all where my on-demand playbooks live to help agents scale their business, regardless of what season of their career they're in. And always reach out, DM me. I'm happy to help. Again, my vision is to create an industry of servepreneurs instead of entrepreneurs that help elevate that client experience.
So good. So good. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. See ya.
Thanks, guys.